So this first part, I can remember formulas. On your test, these are the answers. You just have to know them. Like I can't change it. Like I'm literally giving you test answers. All right. Slope formula. It was on your quiz. I know a weekend happened, but does anyone remember it? Go ahead. Oh, not to that yet. Go ahead. What is it? Slope formula. No. Thank you. Subtract the y's over x2 minus x1. You subtract the y numbers, you subtract the x numbers. Now that y equals mx plus b, good, say that louder. What is that one? That is slope intercept. So number 3 here, that's your good old y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, b is the y-intercept. That's why it's called slope intercept. Okay, these other two are a little tougher to remember. You don't see them as much. Standard is the one that's ABC. Standard is that ABC one. AX plus what? What comes, do you remember what comes next? BY equals C. So an example would be like 7x plus 3y equals 25. Okay. And then this is the really tricky one to remember. It is y minus y1. It's like in a problem, it would be like y minus 4. Like there'd be a number there. Equals your slope. M is slope. And then in parentheses, what comes next? You're going to have to focus back there. Or I'm going to have to move you up. X minus x1. Good. That's the hardest one to remember. So maybe like look at that right before I hand you the test. But those are the answers. I'm literally giving you test answers. Those are the answers. I can't change them. They're just formulas that you got to remember. Okay. So I can find the slope given 2 points. I can explain what slope means. When you explain a slope, what is that little word that you need in there? It's a 3-letter word that I said you need to have in when you explain slope. Per something else, like miles per hour or whatever. You need per in there. All right, so what is the slope of the line through these points? If you want to label them, if that helps you, then do it. These get 1s because it's the first point. These get 2s because they're the second point. I will give you a brain break halfway through, but you're going to have to focus for a little bit longer. We didn't make it through very much. All right, so you're going to have to persevere for me. So you're going to plug them into this slope formula right here, the one I'm pointing at. Just take the numbers, plug them in. What do we get? Just put all the numbers in the right spot. No, you start with the y's. 10 minus 4, very good. 1 minus negative 2. And then what you are going to do is slam that in the calculator exactly like it looks, and it will spit out the answer at you. Y's go on the top, x's go on the bottom. Let me share my screen. We'll go to the calculator. What do I got? 10 minus 4 over 1 minus negative 2. What's our answer? 3. Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't type it right. Thank you. There we go. I thought it was positive 1. Thank you. Typing it correctly is important. Do I have it typed right now? I was trying to do it too quick. 10 minus 4 over 1 minus negative 2. There we go. What's our answer? 2. Good. Typing it correctly is important. 2 is our answer. All right, so you're going to just pick up where we are, okay? All right. You are on a road trip. After 1 hour, you've gone 50 miles. Do you see that? 1 hour, 50 miles. So we're going to have 1 comma 50. After 1 hour, you went 50. Can anyone read through? I'm just asking you to read. I believe in my heart you can all read. What's our other point going to be? Just read the rest of it. 3 comma 75. Very good. It isn't that hard. Okay, you just have to be able to read. What is the average rate of change? That just means slope. What's the slope? When it says rate of change, slope. All right, so we're going to do the exact same thing we did here. If you want to label them, you can. If you're like, nah, that doesn't help me, then don't. Like whatever helps you is what you want to do. We're going to try again. Plug them into that slope formula. It's the exact same thing we did in the question right above it. How is that going to start? 75 minus 50. Good. The y's go on the top. 75 minus 50. 3 minus 1. Thank you. I can't read today. Reading is important. All right, I'm going to share my screen. We're going to type it in the calculator. Whatever we get is our answer. Double check me because I'm not typing very well today. There, is that typed right? Yeah. Okay, what's our answer? 12.5 is our answer. Shh, I already have one question, then I'll call on you. That will turn out correct as long as you swap them both. If you only swap one, like if you wrote 50 minus 75 and kept this one 3 minus 1, it won't work out. So as long as you swap them both, it's okay. Now this says, what does it mean in the context of the problem? You need the word per, you need to read, you have hours and you have miles, just put it together. Use your common sense. You've got common sense. Look up here. What does this mean in context of the problem? Read it and put the word per in there. You're on a road trip. Imagine you're in a car. This is miles per hour, and then just make it a sentence. You're on a road trip. Just put it together in a sentence. You're like right there. What's that? 12 and a half miles per hour, but like make a sentence out of it.
Jackson drove 12 and a half hours.
You go 12.5 miles per hour. It has to be something per something else. And the problem literally says miles and hours. Just make a sentence out of it. You go 12 and a half miles per hour, which is kind of slow. That's fine. All right. I can graph linear equations. I can state the characteristics. All right. So looking at this, and this is the part that went well on your quiz. Just do it again. You need to find two pretty points. You need to look up here. I'm going to make you turn your, actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Why don't you go ahead and turn it up. It's not you, both of you. People say cause of disruption. All right. I know, I want you to do well on your test and be successful and pass the class. I'm so awful. All right. So what we're going to do is find two pretty points. I see one right here. And then I need another point that's on like a nice exact one. So like 4, 1. Good. Yeah. Oh, you guys are finding all of them. Nice job. You can find all of them if you want. You really only need 2. So your slope. Do you remember on delta math, you had to make this little triangle in there? All right. So you went down 1 and then over 4. So put it together. What's your slope? -1/4. Good job. You guys did well on that. Just do it again. All right, what's your x-intercept? 8. Now it should be written 8, 0. If you just write 8, I'm going to give it to you because for heaven's sake, but it's technically 8, 0. And the word 0, I did teach this to you, but I know a weekend happened if you don't remember. The 0 is the x-intercept. These are literally the same answer. So 8, that's all that is. 0 is just another vocabulary word for x-intercept. It's the same answer, just write it twice. All right, and then what's your y-intercept? 2. Now, technically, it's 0, 2, but if you just write 2, I'm going to mark it correct. Do you see these arrows on either side? Goes on forever. This was taught to you incorrectly, but I've spent a good bit of time trying to fix it. How do we write? Well, first of all, is domain x or y? Let's start with that. Domain is x. How do you write that it is everything forever and ever? E, good, we got there. And then what letter? What does R mean? There, we fixed it. You guys are there. Reals, forever and ever. And the range is the exact same thing, except instead of x, it's y. Again, and listen to me. That is the answer on your test. Lines have arrows on the end and go on forever. These are the answers. That I'm giving you answers to the test ahead of time. Like those are the answers. I can't change it. All right. You guys are doing a good job focusing. If we get through the other side of this, then we'll do our brain break halfway through, okay? Because we're doing good. This is going well. All right, draw a line that has a 0 slope. Which way is 0? I know you're probably like, oh, I know it's one of these, but which way is 0? Good, this way. What do we call that? Good. It says draw a line with a 0 slope. It doesn't matter where you draw it. It just said draw a line with a 0 slope. So I don't really care. Just yours can match mine if you want. I drew mine at 5. Do whatever you want. What is it called when it's the other way? Instead of 0. It's called vertical and undefined. Good. Perfect. Awesome. Now it says wherever you drew your line, I drew mine at 5. Pick 2 points that are on the line. It really doesn't matter. Pick any 2 you want. I'm going to put 0, 5 and 1, 5. If you drew yours at 3, you would have something, 3. You know what I'm saying? Like it just depends on where you drew your line. All right, and you can just turn to the next page and pick up where we are. All right, again, these are the ones that went well on your quiz. Just do it again. We want a slope of 5/2, go through the point 3, -1. Here's where 3, -1 is, but kiddos, if you forget how to plot a point, what are you going to do? Put it in Desmos, put 3, -1, it'll tell you where it goes. Now using words like up, down, left, and right, what is this telling us to do? Up 5
Over 2.
over 2. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Up 5 over 2. And then connect the dots. I did have some people not connect the points on their quiz. I didn't mark it wrong, but that's technically not right. It should be connected to be a line. It's not a line if you don't connect them. Again, I marked it right, but connect the points. All right, oh, here, we just talked about this. We want undefined slope through -4, 2. So -4, 2 is right there. You go -4 for X, 2 for Y. And then again, for undefined, what kind of line am I gonna, yeah, vertical. Perfect, up and down. That's it. You're gonna make it. We okay. You get through a couple more and I'll give you a break. All right, given that equation, identify the following. The first thing you have to do is put it in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. You need to get the y's by themselves. So the first thing you're gonna do is subtract over the 5x. This is the one where I had everybody coming up and sitting with me in the comfy chair and I was helping you with it. It went okay, but the main problem you guys were all doing is you were putting these together. Why can't you combine these? That has an X and that doesn't. It wouldn't be slope intercept. They aren't like terms. Okay, so we're going to subtract over the 5x. That's going to give us -3y equals, and then what order should I put this? You need to be clever about what order you. Good, -5x plus 30. Boom. You're just trying to get it in the right order. You're just moving stuff. Is all that you move that to the other side is all it is. Yes, thank you. I was going to be like, what's my next step? We're going to divide everything by -3. Perfect. Divide by -3. So that gives you y equals what? There will be a 10, but hold on. Let's do this part first. Yeah, wouldn't it just be 5 over 3? How come it's positive? 2 negatives, they cancel. And then say that louder, 30 divided by -3, -10. Cool. So what's the slope? That was the whole point of doing that. What's our 5 over 3 is your slope. Good job. And your y-intercept is -10. And again, if you just write -10, for heaven's sake, I'm going to mark it correct, but it's 0, -10. Now, to get all the other stuff, I would type it into Desmos. So can you guys just look? You guys are focusing really well today. I just want you to look. That's it. All right, 5/3 x minus 10. I'm going to, boom, click on my x-intercept there. What is it? 6. 6, 0. And so what's the 0? 6. It's the same answer. It's just another word for the same thing. And these, I told you the answer. It is not going to change. On your test, it's exactly what we're writing here. What's your domain? Oh, ER, all reals for X, and range is the same thing, but for Y. Go ahead. 0 means the same thing as x-intercept. It's just another vocabulary word that means x-intercept. So whatever number that is, it's the same answer. Just a vocabulary word. All right, we'll get through one more and I'll give you a brain break. All right, you guys are doing well with this. This is going well. Do you guys see how you're listening and then you know what's going on, how great that is, and then you all do well on your test? All right, given this equation, write it in slope-intercept form, give the slope and y-intercept. First thing you have to do is minus the 4x over. You're just moving it. You're just moving it to the other side. You know you can't have your head up. Don't do that. So that's going to be 5y equals -4x plus 20. Don't combine them. That was the main mistake everybody was making, is you're putting them together. You can't do that. They just leave them separate. What's the last step? Divide everything by 5. Divide by 5, divide by 5, divide by 5. So you get y equals -4 over 5. Does that reduce? No. So just leave it -4 over 5x. Leave it. If there's nothing to do, then do nothing. You gonna write that down for me or just stare at the paper? That'd be great. And then 20 divided by 5 is 4. The tests are a lot easier for me to grade when all the answers are right. So it's my goal for you guys to do as well as you can. And then you guys are all happy and I'm happy and your parents are happy, right? What's the slope? -4/5, and the y-intercept is 4. You just kind of look at it and state the answer. All right, we're going to do the same thing with this one. Write it in slope-intercept form. That's your good old y equals mx plus b. So the first thing you're going to have to do is take this 1/2, and how do you put it through the parentheses? What's that word? It is multiply, but distribute. Good, we're going to distribute. You guys make me keep yelling, I'm going to lose my voice. All right, y minus 2 equals, we're going to distribute a 1/2. That will give you 1/2 x plus, now what's half of 8? 4. If you didn't know, you could type it in the calculator. I hope you know half of 8 is 4. Oh, use your calculator. All right, and then what's your last step to get y by itself? We're not plus the 2. Now, do you see how I lined it up with the 4? Like, be organized. All right. Are you like focusing back there? Okay, well, just like write this down. So y equals 1/2 x plus what? 6. Good. And so your slope is 1/2 and your y-intercept is 6. Once you get the slope-intercept form, like the other part's easy. And listen to me here. Let's say you make a mistake and your slope-intercept form is wrong, but these two numbers match what you have, then I can give you credit for these two. So if you lose your mind, make something up for this answer and then make these numbers match. Do you understand what I am telling you? Then I can give you the points for those. All right. So given this equation, write it in standard form. That's the x, then the y, then the equal sign. That's the ABC one, okay? First thing I would do here is multiply the whole thing by 7. Why on earth would I do that? Why would I get rid of the fraction, all right? I'm going to multiply everything by 7. Can you guys multiply by 7? Okay, well, we'll see. 7y equals, now the 7s will cancel. That's kind of the whole point. So it's -1x plus 14. How did you get 14? That's correct. Yep, 7 times 2. All right, now I need to move the x's to the other side. How would I do that? I want it x, then y, then the equal sign. So how do I move this over? Yep, plus 1x. And then you just need to put it in the right order. What is your order for standard form? How's it going to go? 1x
7y equals 14.
plus 7y equals 14. Very good. Now here's the only thing. It didn't happen on this one, but I can't remember if it happens like this on your test. The number in front of the x is not allowed to be negative. So if you end up with a negative, you multiply everything by a -1 and it just flip-flops all the signs. You're not allowed to start with a negative. Just multiply a -1 through. X and y intercept. Here's what I would do is type it in and like literally just look at it. What was it? 1x plus 7y equals 14. Cool. What's our x-intercept? 14. Go ahead and write that down. I can't have the paper and the calculator up here at the same time, but 14, 0. And then let me click on the y-intercept. 2, 0, 2. Just type it in.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is the last number in the equation always going to be the
No, that only happened because it was 1x. X-intercept is 14. I just put the equation in and then clicked on it. That's all I did. But that's kind of what Evan was asking. The reason that it came out to 14 is because it was 1x. If this had been 2x or something different, then that wouldn't have happened. It was just because it was a 1. Okay. So like say it was 2x, then this would be 7, 0. Because 14 divided by 2 is 7. Just put it in the calculator and click on it. The calculator will do it for you. Don't worry about that, okay? All right, now this is the stuff that was like on the front of your quiz. G of -1. Do you see how this says G right here? You have to just look. I don't have a better explanation than, hey, look. All right, -1 gives you 3. Do you see that there? Don't confuse other people. -1's 3. Do y'all see that? All right. H of 2. Here's H. It's this graph. Here's 2. You find where that hits the function. Do you see how that's 1, 2, 1? Now, this is the one you guys were asking me about when we went over the quiz. Let me share my screen. What am I going to type? Look at your paper. What am I going to type in this first blank? K of x, good. Squared. That's fine. Minus 5x minus 8. Do you guys see where they got that from? Close the Chromebook, please. It's just written on your paper. Then you're going to come down to the next box and type what? Well, it's not, it's just k negative 3. But yeah, there. What's your answer? 16. Boom. Just type it in the calculator. All right. Same thing for this one. F of 4. Let me go back over here. Sorry, I can't have the paper and the calculator at the same thing. All right, what do I type in the first one? F of x. Or x minus 1. Just reading it off the paper. Come down here, type F, what is it? 4. Boom. 15. All you do is this. Type it in the calculator. Use your resources. You'll be okay. All right. Find x if f of x equals 11. So do you see this one right here? F of x. You're going to set it equal to 11. So 4x minus 1 equals 11. And we're going to solve. You guys have, well, wow, you did that really quickly. What do you do to both sides?
Add 1.
Add 1. You are smart, but you gotta, I gotta get everybody else there. 4x equals 12. I ran out of space, but you would divide by 4 and x is 3. You guys need to switch seats? Okay. You set f of x equal to 11. We good there? You take this, set it equal to 11. Now this one, you're going to have to watch me point to it. I don't have a better answer than here. Look, g of x is the table. You find g of x being 4. Do you see that right there? So your answer is 5. That's all that there is to it. It's no work. Those are easy peasy. I like those ones. 5. Do you see where 5 came from? 4 links with 5. All right, last page. Calculator. Type this in the calculator. Just watch. Just watch me do this. That's all you got to do. F of x equals 7 parentheses x plus 3. And then I need to divide that all by 2x. Boom. Just copy it off the paper. And then we want to plug in negative 2. That's fine. Negative 1.75. If I needed a fraction, how would I do that? Yeah, little fraction button right there. Negative 7/4. I like fractions better than decimals, so I'm going to write the fraction, but it really doesn't matter. A correct answer is a correct answer. Calculators. Type in the calculator. You can pass the test by using the calculator. All right, if f of negative 1 equals 4, what is the ordered pair? Well, negative 1 comma 4, right? I mean, that's what that means. F of negative 1 equals 4. It means you have the point negative 1 comma 4 on the graph. Is that clear for everybody? I don't want anyone to miss that question. I will be mad if anyone misses that because that's literally all you have to do. With me? Please, for my sanity. All right. This function gives the distance in miles that Olivia still needs to travel to get home after X hours. We have miles and we have hours. What is the value of f of 3? What am I going to do, guys? Later. Desmos. All right. So it's f of x equals 200 minus 4x. Oh, 40x. Thank you. All right, 4x. And we want to do f of 3. 80. Boom. Tap, tap, tap in the calculator. 80. Now, what does that mean in context? If you travel for 3 hours, now it's how much further she needs to get home. So at 3 hours, she is 80 miles from home. So at 3 hours, 80 miles from home. She's trying to get home. She's driving home and it's how much further she has to go. But that's all that is, 380. At 3 hours, 80 miles away. However you put that in your own words, I don't care. As long as you use miles and hours, you're going to get it. All right, now what is the value of x if f of x equals 0? Can you guys look up here? Look it. I already have the graph in the calculator. I'm going to click on 0. You see how I did that there? Like I already had this typed in. I just clicked on 0. What's your answer? 5. That's all you got to do. 5. Calculator. What does that mean in context? That means after 5 hours, where is she? Where was she trying to get to? Home. Why is she home? Because it's 0. She's 0 miles from home. That means she's home. All right. So at home in 5 hours. If she's 0 miles from home, she's at home. She made it home. She got there. 5 hours. Took her 5 hours. All right. And then this last section, I can graph lines. All right. Use your calculator. Watch this. Just watch. Just look. Don't fade out on me. We're almost there. What is it? 6x minus 2y equals 18. Boom. I just want to get some points. So let's click on them. Where's that one? Plot that. I can't keep going back and forth. I don't want to make you seasick. Plot 3, 0. I'm going to plot it on mine too. All right. I need a couple more. Do you see any more points that are like nice ones? Where's this one? 0, -9. Let me try and get one in between there. Let me zoom in a little bit. Oh, there's another one. See how this one's on a nice like whole point? Let me see if I can get it right exactly. There we go. 1, -6. So I'm going to plot that too. 1, -6. And then all you have to do is connect them. Give me at least 3 points. Connect them. Boom. Oh, yeah, I'm not usually super picky about that. But yes, lines go on forever. Domain and range is that reals thing with the R. This one, we actually shouldn't need a calculator. But you can, of course, use one. But what point should we start at? Yeah, 4. Just start it. It's almost easier without the calculator, to be honest. But you can use it. 4 is your starting point right there, 0, 4. And then what is your slope telling you to do? These are like your instructions. Yeah, well, go down 2 over 7. So from that point, you're going to go down 2, 4, 5, 6, over 7. You can count to 7, you can do it. And then just get 1 point going the other way. So you have 3 and then connect them. But you can, of course, type that in the calculator too. It's just, I didn't feel like it because you could graph it without the calculator. And then the last one, let me type that one in. So, and after I finish this one, don't stop listening to me because I have one other thing I want to say to like kind of tie this all together. But do you see how I'm typing it? Cool. All right, let's find some nice points. Here's one. See that one? 0, -3. Go ahead and plot that. I just need to get 3 of them. 0, -3. Let's see what else we've got. This one looks like a nice whole point. See if I can get it exactly. There we go. 1, -5. And then I need one more. Here, this one looks like another one. That's good. Do you guys see how I'm doing this? Like you can use a calculator, right? You've used Desmos before this year, right? You used Desmos last year. All right, and then there's another one, 2, -7. And then connect them. Listen to me. I used to do this in history all the time because history was my worst subject. I was good at math. Close that and just listen to me. I'm almost done. I know, you can roll your eyes in. I would always use the test to help me take the test. You know how you can sometimes find the answer to a question in another question? Okay, do you see the format that this one is written in? So when you get asked, what is this point slope form? You can find one that looks like that and help you write it. And now it is minus, but it's y minus y1 equals slope x minus x1. You can use the test to help you take the test and find one that looks similar. Do you get what I'm saying? And that works for other problems too.